On the vibrant streets of Washington Heights, New York, Lin-Manuel Miranda's celebrated musical In the Heights tells us the story of a neighborhood navigating significant change, along with the dreams and aspirations that fill up the members of its community. At the show's heart lies the song Carnaval del Barrio, which captures the very essence of the musical by exploring how we define home, how we face our challenges, and how we find strength in unity. In this video, I'm going to talk about how Miranda uses the music and lyrics of Carnaval del Barrio to capture this spirit, turning a moment of despair into an act of resistance and shared cultural pride. Before the song begins, the community is completely fractured. A heat wave and power outage grip the neighborhood. Abuela Claudia has just passed away. Sonny is facing uncertainty about his future, and Usnavi is planning to leave for the Dominican Republic. At the same time, Daniela and the salon ladies are pushed out of town due to rising rent, and no one's there to say goodbye. It's in this moment of communal despair that Daniela feels compelled to wake up the barrio.
Hey, hey, what's this tonteria that I'm seeing on the street?
So what's happening here? Daniela wants to wake everyone up, get them off their feet. So how does Miranda do that musically? With a couple of things. First, at the very start, we have this fortissimo notation, which means to perform very loudly. We're also starting the song with a B minor chord. A minor chord is generally used to reflect something that's sad or dark, versus a major chord is used to feel happy. The situation in the barrio is rather bleak, so fittingly, we start in minor. In addition to the minor chord and the fortissimo, we also have this tremolo notation, which tells us to repeat the notes as quickly as possible, creating a sort of quivering effect. So when we listen to this all together, it's one chord that feels like Daniela is literally trying to shake the town awake. If that's not enough, the very next chord is this C-sharp, fully diminished chord, and even darker sound further used to get people's attention. Now wanting to reel the crowd in, she starts to tell a story about when she was a little girl, and as a result, we don't have these loud tremolo chords anymore, but instead softer, rolled chords that are prettier and nicer to accompany a nostalgic story. We look a little farther down and then hear the Piragua guy yells, "Huepa!" which is a word that's used to express excitement and joy, but I just love that it's notated into the score. I think it just shows the attention to detail paid by the writers in trying to keep the song and the story authentic. Then Daniela slowly and softly starts to sing the hook of Carnaval del Barrio, making it easy for people to sing along. It slowly starts acelerando as the Piragua guy joins in, and then Sonny and Graffiti Pete join in. Then finally we're back a tempo, in this moment right before the main bulk of the song starts. And she's gotten a few people to join in, but she's on the cusp of bringing in the rest. So now she sings louder again over these harder, quicker chords that hit right before the beat. In music, this concept is called syncopation. If it was straight on the beat, it would sound like this. But thanks to the syncopation, we have... When you hear this, you feel the effect of it sort of knocking you off your feet and wanting to get up and moving, ready to dance and sing along. For this main groove and rhythm of the song, we have a notation for it to be played bomba-ish, which is a style of music that originated in Puerto Rico over 500 years ago.
What is bomba?
Basically, bomba was developed mostly around the 1500s to 1600s.
That early on, wow.
Yes, by the enslaved people that were brought during the slave trade and the colonization of Puerto Rico. And also, before the Spanish came here, there were a native indigenous people, Taínos.
Right.
And so, bomba is actually a mixture of the different ethnicities that came to the island.
It's a fingerprint of Puerto Rico.
So Lin-Manuel Miranda is using the sounds created by their immigrant ancestors when they came together in resistance in order to tell the story of modern-day immigrants coming together in New York City and claiming their pride for their cultural heritage. This musical expression of the immigrant experience is soon reflected in the lyrics as well, when Carla, not knowing what to sing, says the following line.
Cuban, my dad is from Chile and PR, which means I'm Chile, Dominican, but I always say I'm from Queens.
I love that line because of how beautifully and succinctly it shows what it's like to be a first-generation American who is proud both of being in America as well as proud of where they came from. Now looking at this main hook of Carnaval del Barrio, the harmony is sort of jumping back and forth from a resolution to D major, a happier feeling. and then to B minor, a darker feeling. Over both of these happier and darker chord progressions, we are singing the same lyrics of Carnaval del Barrio, showing us musically how, no matter the situation we're in, no matter what we're facing, no matter what chords are playing underneath, we can still have a Carnaval del Barrio. As we move forward through the song, there's a lot of singing and dancing, lots of movement, and then eventually Usnavi comes into the scene and we have a key change up to C minor from B minor. This shows us that there's a change in the scene or the story. He's about to tell El Barrio that he's leaving town, and the moment that he does, we have the crowd say, "Oh my God," and then there's another key change, now to B flat major, as the neighborhood sings Alza la bandera, raise your flags. So Usnavi, claiming his return to his own country, inspires everyone to raise up their own flags for their countries. And it's this next part that, in my opinion, is the most important moment of the song, as the Piragua guy sings the Arriba esa bandera verse. The lyrics are conveniently translated right here in the score, so you can see that it means, "Let that flag fly, raise it anywhere and everywhere. It's a souvenir of my homeland, it reminds me of my homeland. That beautiful flag contains my entire soul, and when I die, bury me in my homeland." So this is the moment that the barrio really starts to connect with their roots and unify over their unique cultures. So how does the music serve to emphasize these lyrics? Well, first off, it stops. Up until now, we've had lots of dancing, lots of busy bomba rhythms to emphasize the carnaval. But at this moment, you can see all the accompaniment stops. This puts all the audience's attention and focus on the lyrics being sung. When there are chords and harmony playing, they're sparse and carefully placed to not interfere with the lyric. Also, these chords are different from the major and minor resolutions from before. Now we have this rising movement in the bass line, giving this uplifting feeling. Obviously, there's an undeniable excitement that comes from the rising bass line. And it's not only exciting, but it also reflects how they're literally raising their flags, and more importantly, raising the level of pride they have for their community. So now as we continue, we again have a lot more dancing and singing and happiness, until eventually Sonny and Vanessa come in to express their doubts. They're talking about how people are leaving the neighborhood and everything's falling apart around them. How could everyone be happy and dancing? They also sing these lines over the powerless motif from the song Blackout earlier in the show, instantly connecting us to the emotions of that song. It takes Usnavi to come in and change their minds.
We are powerless. We are powerless.
Alright, we're powerless, so light up a candle. There's nothing going on here that we can't handle. Maybe you're right, Sonny. Call in the coroners. Maybe we're powerless, a corner full of foreigners. Maybe this neighborhood's changing forever. Maybe tonight is our last night together. However, how do you want to face it? Do you want to waste it when the end is so close you can taste it? Y'all could cry with your head in the sand. I'ma fly this flag that I got in my hand.
You may have noticed as Usnavi gives this motivational speech and is gaining their trust and belief, we have not one, but two key changes, one of which conveniently falls on the word however, showing us again how the music continues to move the story forward, this time serving to reveal changes in the characters' emotions. Then we again get the Arriba esa bandera theme from before, but this time, instead of having no music, we are accompanied by these long bass notes. This gives it a more serious tone, almost as if to say, we have to raise our flags. We have to show the world we belong in these times of distress. And following this, we again have more singing, more dancing, more loud celebrations, and more key changes as we build up to the jubilant finale. We end on this E major feel, and if we compare it to the B minor we started in, at the beginning the neighborhood was down, it was fractured. Now, they're celebrating, and they're proud to belong. And the music as a whole is a whole key above where it started, and instead of minor, we finish in major. And just like that, the power in the neighborhood spontaneously turns back on. There is a restored faith and sense of pride that would have never occurred if not for this song. This powerful anthem that beneath its infectious rhythms and its proud lyrics contains a legacy of struggle and resilience, one that bridges hundreds of years of history and thousands of miles of stories into one courtyard in order to demonstrate how joy itself can be the resilience past adversity. One last thing. If we listen to this chord progression again, the one with the rising bass line that accompanies the Arriba esa bandera lyrics, this moment where immigrants are rising up with pride, does that sound like anything familiar? What if we change the rhythm a little bit? It's awfully similar to My Shot from Hamilton, when another immigrant is singing about his goals and dreams to rise up, whilst there's immense change going on around him. Could this be Lin-Manuel Miranda weaving a thread from one of his musicals to another, connecting themes of pride, determination, and the desire for change? I don't know. But at the very least, in Carnaval del Barrio, Lin crafted more than just a showstopper, but an unforgettable 8 minutes in one courtyard that celebrate the strength of a community rallying for one another, raising their flags, and celebrating who they are.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. The Broadway Maven is a vibrant educational community that helps its members think more deeply about musical theater. Every month, members may attend 5 to 15 classes and other expert-led Broadway experiences, all for just $18. We also foster enthusiasm for Broadway through the free weekly Substack newsletter Marquee and host an expansive YouTube channel. It's your home for Broadway appreciation. Learn about all classes and projects at thebroadwaymaven.com. And here's a video I think you'll like.